everybody! So this week's episode of Teen Wolf blew my mind. Let's talk about episode 19 of season 5, The Beast of Beacon Hills. The episode starts off showing Mason being hidden by Corey from the pack and the Dread Doctors. Mason is in total denial that he is the Beast. And it's just really sad. I love Mason and I hate that this is going on with him. We find out that the reason he is a genetic chimera, he absorbed his twin in the womb. So it gave him two different sets of DNA. So when the Dread Doctors find Mason, they knock Corey over the head, take Mason, and inject him with some huge needle in his neck. And I have no idea at this point what this needle does or what it did exactly, but it wasn't good and it was very hard to get out. And it was only taken out when Mason was able to get it out himself. I'm gonna get back to the Dread Doctors and Mason and what all went down with them at the very end. But first, let's talk about Scott and the pack and what they're doing throughout the whole episode. At the beginning of the episode with Scott, we see him injured from his fight with the Beast, and Kira is taking care of him. And then the pack decides to, throughout the whole episode, they are searching for Mason. And it takes them until the very end of the episode to find him. And Liam is the one who really helps them find him. Things are so dire at this point that Scott and Liam actually agreed to a meeting with Theo and Tracy about finding Mason and figuring out how to stop this beast without killing Mason. And it's crazy. I don't like Theo. I still don't like Theo, and yeah, that's never gonna change. When they finally find Mason, it's somewhere near the Beacon Hills Preserve, and Liam is very hesitant to let Theo in on this information until Scott kind of just tells him, look, you gotta let him know, and yeah, we'll deal with the consequences later. And the consequences aren't good. They're not good. Now, Styles in this episode, there are a lot of great scenes with him. One of the great ones was when Malia tells Styles that her mother is after him as well now. And then Styles tells Brayden that maybe he should have a gun as well. She hands him the gun and he proceeds to just drop it on the ground. Luckily, I guess the safety was on or there were no bullets in it, because that would have been very bad. So yeah, Styles is not going to be having a gun at any time in the near future. Kira in this episode, we don't see a lot of her, but what we do see, it's really great. She tries to get her dad to help her reforge her sword, and he tells her there's only one way that she can get this done, and she's going to need help, and she has to go to the Skinwalkers. At the very end of the episode, we see her going to the Skinwalkers, and they agree to help her for a price. I don't know what this price is going to be, but I have a feeling it's going to be pretty bad. Let's talk about Lydia in this episode. At the beginning of this episode with Lydia, we see her and Sheriff Stilinski trying to stop Parrish from leaving Beacon Hills. They actually end up putting spikes on the ground to blow his tires. When they stop him, Lydia continues to stress to Parrish how much they need his help, and even though he is a hellhound, which he thinks is the worst thing in the world, he can help them. The next scene we see with Parrish and Lydia, we see them visit the Nematon, and Parrish puts his hand on it. It's kind of lights up, and he sees all the dead again. And then when Lydia puts her hand on his shoulder, they both see her death as well. And yeah, no, they better not kill Lydia. I will be super pissed if they kill Lydia. I can't even express how heartbroken I will be if they kill Lydia off. Okay, so let's talk about what went down with Theo in this episode. He tries to convince one of his pack members, Josh, to put on the Dread Doctor mask because he has the kitsune whatever powers and the electrical, I don't know, the mystical whatever that has to do with the mask won't hurt him. Well, Josh tells him that he can do it himself. Deucalion then tells Theo how to gain more power, and Theo kills Josh, absorbs his power, and puts the mask on himself. And yeah, Tracy better watch her step now, because now all Theo has to his pack is just one member. Because Hayden has deserted the pack, and basically so has Corey. Now, let's talk about a few other scenes in the episode that I really enjoyed. One scene was when Tracy broke the mountain ash barrier. that was protecting Malia from her mother. Brayden and the Desert Wolf have a really awesome fight, and then Brayden traps the Desert Wolf behind the Mountain Ash barrier herself, allowing her and Malia to escape. The Argents in this episode, oh, I am so loving having Chris and Gerard team up trying to take down this beast. It is all kinds of awesome, especially at the end of the episode when Parrish as the Hellhound shows up with the Argents, guns blazing, and they take on the beast. Alright, so now it's time to talk about what happened at the end of the episode. It broke my heart. I cannot believe this happened, and they took this amazing character away from the show. I think it's completely impossible now to bring him back, but I could be wrong. Mason, when he pulls this needle out of his neck, Liam and Scott, they're all trying to get it out, but they're not able to. So when Mason stands up and starts pulling it out, we think, oh, okay, maybe he's gonna be okay. No, he's not. Right after he pulls it out, he turns into the beast. The Dread Doctors exclaim, transformation without frequency, and yeah, at this point I know things are really, really horrible, and I'm pretty much sure that Mason is gone. And then my worries are confirmed when the beast turns into Sebastian Valet and Mason is gone. There is no Mason, you guys. He has just vanished from existence, and I'm heartbroken. I love Mason. He was such a great character, and I don't think there's a way to bring him back. Now we're stuck with this asshole, Sebastian, and I just want him dead. Now, just like Theo. Can we just kill him and Theo and the Dread Doctors and start with something new? Because I'm ready for a new storyline. I've loved the progression of this season so far, and I can't wait to see what happens in the season finale. And I'm really excited that 2 of the Dread Doctors were killed. Yeah, that was great. I think it was only 2, but hey, 2's something, right? We only got 1 more running about. Anyways, I really enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to see what's sure to be a shocking finale. I hope y'all enjoyed this recap and review. Continue to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.